Welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, where we bring you conversations with the top business minds on Long Island and around the nation every week. Featuring expert consultants and small business owners who have found success but are also willing to share their top tips, failures, and give gritty, matter-of-fact advice based on their firsthand experience. Now, let's get down to business on Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hello and welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio. My name is Ray Schwetz, AVP of Business Banking at Jovia Financial Credit Union. We're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship. We bring you weekly business advice, tips, tools, and services that help you grow your business. Plus, we interview the top leaders in business and in the community. So helping provide us some empowerment today, I'm very excited because this is a very cool guy. He's a leader in the nonprofit world, Daniel Gimpel. He's the executive director of the Rising Stars Youth Foundation. They recently opened up a 16,000 square foot state-of-the-art basketball facility within Freeport with 2 regulation high school courts, dedicated training and fitness rooms, and academic space. It's a very exciting time for you. Welcome to the show, Dan.
Thanks, Ray. Happy to be here and happy to talk about Rising Stars.
Yeah. Your organization does such wonderful work, and your story, when you and I chatted the first time, I was so touched and inspired by your experience there. So can you share with us your personal experience with Rising Stars? Because that really defines your understanding of the organization. Again, very inspiring. So please tell us how you arrived there and grew.
Yeah, so Rising Stars has been around for a very long time. I'm not going to give my age, but I came into the program at 12 years old. And Rising Stars at that time was just a for-profit. And the founder, Paul Savramis, was just doing basketball clinics and camps at the time, and he took me under his wing, and I got to use Rising Stars as a passport to go see the world, from Europe to around the United States. And the power of sports was a big thing for me personally, but then being able to meet friends and have different relationships, it really changed my life. Yeah. I was a total underdog. I was a 4'11" kid at Holy Cross High School, where if you looked at me, definitely I was not a basketball player, but it took somebody believing in me, giving me an opportunity, and went to Holy Cross, had a good career, got a scholarship to Adelphi University, and Rising Stars was always part of my life. And in 1996, we decided to make it a nonprofit, using the power of sports, primarily basketball, to use it a way to reach kids and help them pursue their dreams. And here we are in 2024. We have our brand new facility. It's been an awesome journey, crazy journey, and happy to share it with you guys today on the show.
Yeah, well, we're excited to learn more. I mean, the work that you do with the kids, I'd like you to go kind of into that. What is it exactly that the Rising Stars Youth Foundation does? I mean, I know it's a youth foundation, it's basketball, but what is your mission and how do you fulfill it?
Yeah, so we use the power of teams to promote education. And really what that means is every child needs a carrot, a vehicle to attract them. One thing is we're very good at what we do, from the sports component with basketball, with our coaches, our trainers, and just people who really care about those kids. And the ultimate goal is to make them part of something bigger than themselves. So once they're enrolled in the program and they're part of that, we have an education component and a community service component that we expose the kids to. And every kid needs some hand-holding, and some others need a little bit more. And Rising Stars provides that. It's a second family. Parents love the fact of a mentor in their kid's life, because eventually sometimes parents, their own kids zone them out, and we're like that second component of the family. So we've been very, very successful. Of 100% of the kids who come through our program graduate high school, and go on to college. And we're very, very proud of that. And if you talk about an end game, I think if you were a parent, you would say, what's your goal with your kid? Trouble-free through high school, involved with positive people, great mentorship around you, and helping them accomplish their goals. And we've been doing that now for over 25 years.
Now take us through kind of an average day, or is there an average day at Rising Stars?
Yeah, kind of varies, but it usually starts with the sports component where these kids are coming into practice every single week. We do have tryouts because we can't go and take every kid, and they're exposed to a coach. We have no parents that are coaches in our program. Mm-hmm. We like to keep that separate. And then there's the education component where we provide tutoring, we do SAT prep, college placement, guidance. But a typical day is you come into now our brand new complex, you have practice, you can meet with our educational director to define your goals academically. And we help kids from third grade all the way through high school. But I say our sweet spot is the middle school kid, where those kids have to make big decisions on whether they're going to stay in their public school or go to their private school. And we have our foundation provides a scholarship program. It's called the Rising Star Scholars Program. Very powerful signature program for us, where these kids, we provide tuition assistance and all the resources they need to be successful. Wow. And we've been doing that for the past 10 years and have supported it with over $1.5 million that have gone back into education for these kids. So very, very proud of that. Makes us different than your average sports organization. As I said in the beginning, it's about being part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's such a pivotal age that that sweet spot, middle school. Even if you know you're staying within public school, just developmentally, I feel like that's when things really start to change and kind of speed up for the kids. So,
right.
That's a wonderful time to really focus on that. Now, I imagine also, so you're helping a lot of these kids get scholarships, I'm assuming, into the colleges as well, right?
Yes. So I think the unique thing about Rising Stars is not every kid is going to go on to play sports in college. Mm-hmm. I mean, just a stat is, if you're going to play college sports, say you're playing youth basketball, I think the stat is to play Division III basketball, 5% of the kids who actually play will go on to play in college. Mm-hmm. I think it's 3% for Division II, and it's like 2% for Division I. So Rising Stars is a unique vehicle because it's not about putting a kid into Stanford or Duke. It's really about the journey. Mm-hmm. And to show the success of that, we have these kids who, once again, aging me a little bit, they come back as coaches and mentors because they know the impact that it had on them as a child. So pretty full circle for us at Rising Stars, and it shows you're really doing something right when the people who came to the program want to come back and give back and talk to the youngsters and be part of their life.
Now, are there any misconceptions about it? When I hear basketball and Youth Foundation, I have a mental picture of what that might be. I'm sure people come to you expecting one thing and then getting so much more.
Right. So I think one of the, and I'll say it on air here, is that the stigma of AAU basketball, which is travel basketball, I think has a bad rap because it's about kids, basketball, people making broken promises. It's youth sports. Everybody trying to provide a dream that maybe is not possible. You never want to ruin a kid's dream, right. But at the same time, you want to be realistic and have goals. And for us, as I said before, if there's a kid who's super talented and we can help him get to where he wants to go, we can do that. And an example is we have a kid who came through our program, graduated from St. Francis Prep High School, and he went to Dartmouth. And now he's part of working at Goldman Sachs. So it's both sides of it, but it's really about the kid at the end of the day and using Rising Stars as a vehicle to help him and guide him to where he wants to go. And I feel that's kind of missed in youth sports because everybody's so caught up in the playing part and being part of this. Social media, I think, is really confused a lot of people because everybody's worried about their image instead of really worrying about like who they are as a person and really the people who are going to help you get there and be honest with you. And I feel at Rising Stars, that's our reputation. We're very honest. We're very upfront, and it's about the child. As we know in youth sports, parents can be a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure we could talk another hour about that, but parents can sometimes get in the way.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, and our guest today is Daniel Gimpel. He's the executive director of the Rising Stars Youth Foundation. Yeah, parents can definitely kind of,
yeah,
but you're not experiencing that here, which is great. And you know, it's funny. I definitely had that misconception as a parent with sports. My daughter is in competitive cheer, and what I found really cool about it was at first I didn't realize it was really a sport. Then I realized it was a sport and what goes into it, and the choreography and the lifting girls up and throwing them, and it's just amazing what they do. What I love about it is they help each other. Like they keep each other like, you got to make sure you get good grades in this class. You got to study for that final. Let me help you. They kind of like come together and help each other. The sport really fosters that collaboration.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. And the cheerleading part of it, I watched that stuff on TV, and you said choreograph, teamwork, like that's what it's about. Like specifically in team sports, we always talk about people like values, teamwork, hard work, but really for me personally, and the kids that I'm trying to, I guess, guide and mentor, it's really about hard work and really where that can take you. Mm-hmm. And there's no secret ingredients. Everything's like, oh, I got to get this trainer. I got to go. You got to figure out who to surround your child with, positive people, and what they're about, and then trust that they're going to go instill the values with their program, which we do at Rising Stars very, very well. You're only as good as the team around you. So Rising Stars coaches and our staff, our high school, former Rising Stars players, college coaches, where our kids are being exposed to that. And as a parent, you want to be able to drop your kid off, have him part of something, and know he's in good hands. And then when that point comes, where they don't listen to you, that there's somebody else that can really be that, if you want to call it, big brother, big sister, and we've been really successful at that. And now having this home is I can't even begin to tell you how special that is.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Now, do you still do work though with other locations or?
Oh yeah,
primarily?
Yeah. So I mean, we have 500 kids in the program, which you would never be able to put everybody in one spot. So one, I think the great things that Rising Stars has done over the years is partnering with local high schools and schools and getting our message out of what we're doing. So we have partnered with Academy Charter here in Uniondale, where we have a partnership with them, Long Island Lutheran High School, Holy Cross High School in Queens. That's my alma mater. And just really, they hear the basketball part, they stop for a second. But then when we tell them our story about what we do, it kind of eliminates, they know where our hearts are at and where our mind's at. And let's be honest, like doing this for 25 years, I don't think you come this far if you aren't doing a great thing. And that's one thing, probably the biggest thing, being the executive director and coming through this program, that is the reputation and the integrity of the people that we have involved in our program, and what we're about separates us from everybody else.
Yeah, and the passion that in your work definitely shines through as you're talking. So what is it about the work that you're doing? Like, what is it that inspires you to keep going? Like,
yeah, that's a great question. Just for me personally, I love the underdog.
Yeah.
I totally love the underdog, the kid that nobody talks about, the kid that's not that, oh my gosh, look at him, because that was me. 4'11", going into high school, where you're looking around you, these kids are huge, and if somebody like Paul didn't take me under his wing, I don't know where I would be. So in Rising Stars, you see those kids that maybe somebody wouldn't look at, and you're like, wow, I could help that kid. And then there's other situations really that with a single parent families where there's just things that go on in everyday life that everybody goes through. And I think whether you're from an affluent community or middle class or, where there's tough circumstances, every child needs a place. And I think that's really where Rising Stars that's its sweet spot. And specifically with basketball, very diverse, kids from all different backgrounds. I think that's a really special thing, because kids come into our place and they want to become friends, and to this day, they stay friends, and they care about each other, and they come back to the program, and it's like I said, it's very, very special to be a part of it, and very proud.
Yeah, and you're part of a team there. You mentioned Paul, so the founder, and he's one of those people. I talk about people who you just can't say no to. Like Paul, when you meet him, he's just one of those guys. Great ideas, a fountain of information. Tell us a little bit about your dynamic with him, and then please, tell us a little bit more about some of the team that you work with there.
So, like I said, the story, the true story that happened was Holy Cross High School. I went there to play tennis. That was like my passion, and not basketball. I was like, oh, and then there was a brother Ralph Edmondson at Holy Cross High School, who went to Paul. Paul was very successful in the basketball world, and went over to him and said, if you don't help this kid, he's going to get lost. Paul listened to him, and then obviously I got Paul's number, and I just annoyed him, and I kept calling because he was a powerful guy, but also he was always known to take that underdog and make them into something. So, and then for us the dream was to always have our own facility, and I'm sure for him, seeing me come up as one of his students, and now, as we said, be an executive director and see the good that's been done, and this home and this dream sometimes I'm sure he can't even put it into words. And for me, it's you surround yourself with good people, good things happen. And as you mentioned, our staff, our girls director is Bethany Lasore. She's a Garden City legend. She's the leading scorer in New York State history for boys and girls. Her husband, who I introduced them, Tom Hughes, is our director of operations. He's very helpful. We have a ton of coaches, and then we at our facility now, Tim O'Connell, whose kids who came through the program. His son graduated Stanford, played basketball in 3 years with an economics degree, and now is at NC State playing. Just so surrounding yourself with good people. We have principals who are coaches in our program, and like our message stretches not just from Long Island, but we have a good amount of kids that come from Queens as well.
All the positivity. I know there are challenges, and obviously the underdog, there's always challenges.
Oh yeah.
So what are the biggest challenges that Rising Stars has faced, and how have you overcome that?
Right. So as a nonprofit, I think anybody who's a nonprofit knows that fundraising is what makes the wheel go. And we were fortunate to be able to raise the money to build this facility. But a day-to-day thing where people just, they see this facility and like, Rising Stars has got it like that. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of relationship building, and you got to take a lot of no's.
Sure, yeah.
People just don't always say yes. Yeah. So
it's dating, now it's business development. It's the way it goes.
So I'd say that's one of the biggest struggles. And now in the youth market, everybody has a program. Everybody's a coach. Everybody's a trainer. And you're on Long Island. It becomes, I guess, a little diluted because everybody wants to be part of something different. So that's definitely a little bit of a struggle. But because of our history, I think we overcome that every year. But there's always things that you deal with day to day. And I'd say the other thing is parents.
Yes.
Expectations and parents, and well, Johnny didn't get this, and so it's those are probably the two biggest struggles.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Dan Gimpel. He's the Executive Director of Rising Stars Youth Foundation. My name is Ray Schwetz. I'm the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. The parents' expectations, I'm sure that's a huge challenge. Again, it's Joe. You continually rise though to that challenge and continually beat it. What are the accomplishments? If you had to say, looking back, like what are some of the things that you're really proud of? I mean, you mentioned the facility. I guess that's really it. That's meeting the dream. What are some of the other accomplishments that you look back and you go like, wow, I can't believe we did that, or I'm really glad we did that?
So when we look back so Jay Williams, who played at Duke, he's on ESPN. His mother was a pioneer for our education program. So when you say look back, and she used to sit down with me and say, Danny, she was a principal. She's like, this is how it's got to be done. Now, remember, I'm a basketball guy. Like, I'm all over the place. But she really built the foundation of our education program. And that I look back on as like, she passed away a couple of years ago. But I will never forget her and what she did, because that education piece has taken Rising Stars to a different level. But also, you talk about like proud of. At the end of the day, the basketball part is great, but it's the education and really the impact that you're making. So that would be definitely one thing. And you mentioned it before, that I still can't get over the facility. Walking in there every day, how special and surreal it is, and we have not really advertised very much about it, and that place is packed.
Wow.
There's calls coming in. People want to be a part of it. As you know, Jovia is one of our partners. We have Orland and Cohen, who is one of our partners, and because they see the good, like you mentioned, like how are you different? People aren't just going to support a basketball program.
Right.
You have to be different, and the nonprofit, being part of something bigger than yourself, the community service aspect that we have is very proud of that. Where these kids, we mandate to at least 1 to 2 events a year they have to be a part of. We brought groups to the Ronald McDonald House to go and cook for the families in there.
Wow. We've
done city meals and wheels where the kids were in 10 degrees in the city where they were making meals for the homeless. So stuff like that is never really gets talked about but that's what we're proud of, because you're different. You're really making yourself set aside. And our partners, I know it's the beginning stages, but they'll see that they're going to be very proud of being part of that. And so for Jovia with their financial literacy program, we're excited to be a part of that with them. And it's funny, like you talk about that and you with people, and you would think that would be like a mandated thing in schools, like duh. But it's not. I think they're going to do it starting next year, of just a checking account, savings account. What is interest? I mean, simple things that we know about now as adults, but as a kid, everybody just wants to go and take their little card, do Apple Pay, and hey, so yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, if I get another Apple Pay request from my daughter for Starbucks, it's like it's killing me. But that is so key. That collaboration. I'm sure there are organizations that you'd like to work with that are on your wish list. So I want to give you your opportunity. Who is it that you kind of would love to reach in terms of either sponsors or schools, or no filters? Just who would you like to work with? Yeah.
So I said we have Jovia as a bank, Orland and Cohen with orthopedics and injury prevention. So we would love, we're talking to Puma, who's big in the grassroots. So we'd love to lock them in. A beverage sponsor, whether it could be Gatorade or Poland Spring, somebody to associate themselves with our new home and what we're doing there. And hey, you see all the commercials, and I'm sure you'll see them on Super Bowl weekend. Insurance companies, State Farm, Geico, because I know they like to do stuff in the community. And really, at the end of the day, for our facility and our brand, it's not about having 20 different sponsors. We'd rather have 4 or 5 who are exclusive, and where it's not the quantity, it's really the quality, where it's good for both of us. So never going to say no to somebody if it's something that makes sense, but also not just going to start saying yes to everybody just to put a name on the wall.
I think it's wonderful that you understand that as a nonprofit, because that's the thing. A lot of nonprofits, they don't realize that deepening the relationship with your partner and it being mutually beneficial, that supports your mission, and you want to make sure that those brands are all aligned with what you're doing. So kudos to you for doing that. Now, so what's next for Rising Stars? What are kind of the things on the horizon for you?
We're looking to potentially associate a MBA pro with our foundation.
Cool.
In our facility. I'll throw out maybe a name is Scoot Henderson. Scoot plays for the Portland Trailblazers. He's 19 years old. His family is originally from Hempstead. There's a ton of Hendersons still over here in Hempstead. His dad actually had a house in Freeport back in the day. So getting back to their roots here, that could be something cool for us on the horizon. And our golf outing that we usually do, we do that at Cherry Valley. We want to have a big gala in New York City to celebrate the opening of our facility. So those are the things coming up, and really just the more people that know about what we're doing, and the message is important to me specifically. That you of course now you have this facility like Rising Stars, but there's as you said there's a message behind it, because at the end of the day, we're all going to be gone, right? There's a thing called legacy, which I know for Paul and for myself is you want to know when you left this place that you've done something great and that you've affected other people. And I think we have been doing that. We're going to continue to do that. And this, as I said, this facility will ride me into the sunset or into a grave, but I think the sunset looks pretty good.
I like that. Yeah, the sunset is definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
What a legacy you are leaving. So how can people find you? How can people contact you?
Yeah, so our website is Rising Stars Youthfoundation.com. You can stop by our facility, which is in Freeport, 63 Babylon Turnpike. Stop by, come see us, check out our website, or we'd love to hear from you.
Dan, thank you so much for sharing your story. The work that you're doing at the Rising Stars Youth Foundation is just amazing, and may it continue for a very, very, very long time. I'd like to leave you with Denisha Boston Hill's philosophy. You don't have to be magic to be special. You're already special. You're you. That's Magic Johnson. We want to thank you for being with us. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Denisha Boston Hill, your co-host and producers. Visit nccradio.org for more information. Available on Odyssey, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.